Good morning, dear students. Welcome back to the lecture of chemistry. Today we are going to revise lesson number 2, that is chemical changes and reactions. Now, what is a change? A change is a transformation of substance from one form to another. That means whenever change takes place, a substance is transformed from one form to another. It can be from solid to liquid state. It can be from liquid to gaseous state. In a physical change, the chemical composition of substance does not change and no new substances form. For example, boiling of water. In boiling of water, the liquid changes to gaseous state. The chemical composition of substance does not change. Chemical composition of water does not change and no new substances form. In a chemical change, the chemical composition of substance changes and new substances form. For example, carbon when combined with oxygen it forms carbon dioxide. The chemical composition of the substances change and new substance, that is carbon dioxide, is formed. Now, a chemical reaction is represented by chemical equation. It is a shorthand form of representing chemical change. Now, chemical reaction consists of reactants and products. Now, the substances that take part in the reaction are called as reactant and they are written on the left hand side, while the substances which are formed at the end of the reaction are called as product and they are written on right hand side. Now let us see the characteristics of chemical reaction. Now many times a chemical reaction is accompanied by external indications or characteristics. Now change of color is the characteristic of chemical reaction. Now how do we know that the reaction is complete? We come to know from the change in color. Now copper nitrate, which is blue in color, on heating changes to copper oxide, which is black in color, along with nitrogen dioxide and oxygen. So the color changes from blue to black. So change of color is one of the characteristics of chemical reaction. Now, evolution of gas. Different types of gases are involved in a reaction like carbon dioxide, hydrogen, oxygen. Now let us consider the example of calcium carbonate and HCl. Whenever calcium carbonate is treated with HCl, it forms calcium chloride, carbon dioxide and water. Now here upward arrow is shown for carbon dioxide. That means it is collected by upward displacement. If the arrow is downward, that means the gas is collected by downward displacement. So we have seen two characteristics. One is change of color and the other is evolution of gas. So these characteristics are important in chemical reactions. So a precipitate is always shown by a downward arrow. Now evolution and absorption of heat. Depending on that, the reactions are of two types, exothermic and endothermic. So whenever heat is evolved, it is exothermic reaction. For example, nitrogen combines with hydrogen to form ammonia, which is the example of exothermic reaction in which the heat is evolved or given out. Endothermic reaction is a reaction in which heat is absorbed. For example, nitrogen combines with oxygen to form NO. So, this is a reaction where heat is absorbed and so it is endothermic reaction. Now let us see different types of chemical reaction. Direct combination reaction. It is also called as synthesis reaction. In this reaction, two or more elements or compounds, they combine to form single product. So from two or more elements or compound, we just get one single product. Here you can see that A plus B gives AB. Carbon plus oxygen gives carbon dioxide, and hydrogen combines with oxygen to form water. So in all these examples, single product is formed at the end of the reaction. So it is called as direct combination or synthesis reaction. Now, decomposition reaction. It is exactly opposite of what we have just now studied in combination reaction. From reactant we get to product. So a chemical reaction in which compounds split up into constituent element or other compound is called as decomposition reaction. A decomposition reaction can take place in presence of heat, light or electricity. If the reaction takes place in presence of heat, it is called as thermal decomposition. If the reaction takes place in presence of light, it is called as photochemical reaction. And the reaction takes place in presence of electricity, it is called as electrolysis of water. Now, thermal decomposition, let us see the example. Calcium carbonate on heating gives calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. So, on heating we get two products and carbon dioxide gas is evolved in the reaction. Photochemical decomposition. Silver chloride, it undergoes decomposition in presence of light to form silver and chloride. So, silver chloride is always stored in amber color bottle to avoid decomposition because it undergoes decomposition very quickly in presence of light. Water in presence of electric current or when electricity is passed through it, it breaks into hydrogen and oxygen. So these are the examples of type of reactions. Displacement reaction is a reaction in which more reactive element displaces or replaces a less reactive element from its compound. This reaction is also called as substitution reaction. For example, magnesium reacts with copper sulfate. Now, magnesium is more reactive than copper. So, it will form magnesium sulfate and copper. So, more reactive element always displaces less reactive element. And for reference, you can see the reactivity series. Now, double decomposition reaction. A reaction in which both the reactant are decomposed to form new substance by exchange of their radicals or ions. We have studied what are radicals, what are ions, right? So, there is exchange of the reactant with the radicals or ions to form new substance. For example, silver nitrate AgNO3 react with potassium chloride to form silver chloride and potassium nitrate. So they have exchanged their ions, that is positive and negative. Metal lose electron and form cation, non-metal gain electron and form anion. So silver chloride and potassium nitrate is formed by exchange of their radicals or ions. Now, oxidation of metal. Oxidation means what? Addition of oxygen. So, whenever metal reacts with oxygen, it forms metallic oxide. Sodium reacts with oxygen to form sodium oxide. Magnesium reacts with oxygen to form magnesium oxide. Sulfur reacts with oxygen to form sulfur dioxide. Phosphorus reacts with oxygen to form phosphorus pentoxide. So here in all the examples, single product is formed. So non-metal react with oxygen to form non-metallic oxide and metals react with oxygen to form metallic oxide. Now here examples of acidic as well as basic oxides are given. Now whenever metallic oxide reacts with water, it forms basic oxide. And whenever non-metal reacts with water, it forms acidic oxide. Sulfur dioxide plus water gives sulfurous acid H2SO3. Carbon dioxide plus water carbonic acid. Phosphorus pentoxide plus water gives phosphoric acid. Sodium oxide plus water gives sodium hydroxide. Calcium oxide plus. Now let us consider the example of basic oxide. Sodium oxide reacts with water to form sodium hydroxide. Calcium oxide reacts with water to form calcium hydroxide. Magnesium oxide reacts with water to form magnesium hydroxide. So from this equation we can make out that whenever metallic oxide reacts with water, it forms metallic hydroxide or basic oxides. The electrolytic decomposition, it takes place in presence of electric current or electricity. Water undergo decomposition on passing electricity to give hydrogen and oxygen. Photochemical decomposition reaction takes place in presence of light. For example, silver chloride, it undergoes decomposition to give silver and chloride. H2O2, it gives water and oxygen. H2O2 is hydrogen peroxide. The decomposition reaction also takes place in metallurgy, that is extraction of metals. Calcination is a process where the ore is heated strongly in absence of air or in limited supply of air at temperature below its melting point. Zinc carbonate gives zinc oxide and carbon dioxide. Iron carbonate gives iron oxide and carbon dioxide. Now these metallic oxides are easily reduced to metallic form by using carbon and carbon monoxide. They are reducing agents. The displacement reaction, the other name for displacement reaction is substitution reaction. So a chemical reaction in which more reactive element displaces or replaces less reactive element from a compound, it is called as displacement or substitution reaction. A plus BC gives AC plus B. Now in this case, the A is at higher position in reactivity series of metals. So A is more reactive than B and A is more electropositive than B. For example, magnesium reacts with copper sulfate to form magnesium sulfate and copper. Here, magnesium is more reactive as well as more electropositive than copper. Double decomposition reaction. The reaction in which both the reactants, they are decomposed to give new compound by exchanging their radicals or ions. We have studied in lesson number 1 what are ions, what are radicals, right? So XY plus AB gives XB plus AY. AB plus CD gives AD plus CB. So this is an example of double decomposition reaction where the reactants have exchanged their radicals. A precipitation reaction is a reaction which takes place between two compounds in aqueous solution state to give new compound which is insoluble in the reaction mass. That is called as precipitation reaction. Precipitate or insoluble solid is formed in the reaction. Now next, double decomposition reaction also consists of neutralization reaction. Now what is this neutralization reaction? Whenever acid reacts with base, it forms salt and water. That reaction is called as neutralization reaction. AB plus CD gives AD plus CB. NaOH is a base which reacts with acid, that is HCl, to form NaCl, which is a salt along with water. So this is all about the double decomposition reaction. Double decomposition reaction consists of precipitation and neutralization reaction. Now there are different types of chemical reaction. Exothermic reactions are the reaction which take place with evolution of heat energy or heat is given out. For example, nitrogen reacts with hydrogen to form ammonia. Here exothermic reaction is shown by plus delta because heat is given out. Endothermic reaction is a reaction in which the reaction proceeds with absorption of heat energy. Now carbon reacts with water to form carbon monoxide and hydrogen. Endothermic reaction, heat is absorbed and so it is shown by minus delta. Now photochemical reaction are the reaction which proceed with absorption of light. For example, hydrogen reacts with chlorine to form hydrochloric acid. So here light energy is absorbed. So it is called as photochemical reaction. In electrochemical reaction, there is absorption of electrical energy. For example, water, when electric current is passed through it, it forms hydrogen and oxygen. Now, there are conditions for the reactions to take place. For a reaction to take place, certain conditions are required. A chemical reaction takes place by collision of particles, that means by close contact of particles or by supply of energy to initiate the reaction. Now, by close contact, that is physical contact and contact in solution state. The reaction which takes place when the particles are in close physical contact with each other and not when they are far away from each other. The speed of the reaction between solid particles is increased by increasing the surface area by grinding them into fine powder. Iodine and phosphorus react explosively when they come in close contact with each other. Now contact in solution state. In liquid state, the molecules or ions are in state of motion. So they collide and get transferred into product easily. So reaction in solution state, the molecules they in state of motion. Now types of reaction. AB on heating, it is a reversible reaction, gives A plus B. So this is thermal dissociation. AB on heating gives A plus B. So from a single reactant we are getting two products. So this is decomposition reaction. XY plus AB gives XB plus AY. This is double decomposition reaction where they exchange their radicals or ions. XY plus YZ gives ZX plus Y. So this is a displacement reaction where more reactive element displaces the less reactive element. X plus Y gives XY. Endothermic reaction. Endothermic reaction takes place with absorption of heat. And A plus B gives AB. This reaction takes place with evolution of heat. So it is called as exothermic reaction. Exothermic is shown with plus delta and endothermic is shown with minus delta. So these are the different types of reactions which we have studied. Now types of reaction. AB on heating, it is a reversible reaction, gives A plus B. So this is thermal dissociation. AB on heating gives A plus B. So from a single reactant we are getting two products. So this is decomposition reaction. XY plus AB gives XB plus AY. This is double decomposition reaction where they exchange their values. signs. xy plus yz gives zx plus y. So this is a displacement reaction where more reactive element displaces the less reactive element. X plus y gives xy. Endothermic reaction. Endothermic reaction takes place with absorption of heat. And A plus B gives AB. This reaction takes place with dissolution of heat, so it is called as exothermic reaction. Exothermic is shown with plus delta and endothermic is shown with minus delta. So these are the different types of reactions which we have studied.